Sports stories from the 419 in Northwest Ohio, brought to you by a voice you know. It's time to go around the area and around the Hearn.
Hello and welcome into a very special edition of Around the Hearn. If you listen to all of the podcasts in this series, you will have heard this a handful of times, and for that, I'd apologize, but it's just the easiest way to do it. I've got a massive undertaking with this series. I did this last year and didn't have as many coaches, but have been blessed to have so many great coaches be a part of this. 45 total interviews where you will hear from girls coaches, boys coaches, and a little bit of a preview of the season, which kicked off last night as I'm recording this. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, as my daughter would say, gobble, gobble, gobble. But I really love this series, and I really hope you enjoy it. I hope you reach out to me either on Facebook or on Twitter, because it's a labor of love. 45 coaches are separated like this. Putnam County girls are represented by Calliope's Adam Huber, Vaughn Horseman of Audubon, Sean O'Connor from Fort Jennings, and Ross Yearman of Miller City. Putnam County boys, Connor Coles from Grove, Mike Lee from Pandora Gaboa, Scott Keck from Continental, the one and the only Keith Utendorf from Audubon, Ross Kaufman of Miller City, and Ryan Steckschulte from Kalida. Northwest Conference girls, Adam Burris, who's had a big week. He picked up his first win as the head coach of the Bluffton girls. Had a big turnaround, too, because they were outscored in the first half, but held Corey Rawson to just 11 points. Greg Ekis, in a decade of Ekis at Spencerville. Aaron Montgomery at Allen East. Kyle Williams from Lincolnview, and Mark Gregory from Crestview. NWC boys, you've got Ada's Vince Halliday. Kevin Sensabaugh from Spencerville, now in his 22nd year, by the way. Gabe Young from Allen East. Jordan Jenninghoff from Delphus Jefferson. Brett Hammonds of Lincolnview, and Doug Etzler from Crestview. Midwest Athletic Conference, Parkway's Dan Williamson. Amy Meyer from Coldwater. Best Drive from Marion Local. Mike Wiss from Minster, and Andy Timmerman from New Bremen. The Midwest Athletic Conference has the entire conference full of coaches. Aaron Elwer from St. John's, Travis Swank from Versailles, Doug Hughes from Parkway, Eric Rosenbeck of St. Henry, Nick Fisher from Coldwater, Mike McClurg from Minster, New Bremen's Corey Stevens, Kurt Guttemiller from Marion Local, and Carson Monger from New Knoxville. Western Buckeye League, Kenton's Ryan Miller, Trey Elkert from Wapak, Matt Tabler from Elida, and Tyson McLaughlin from Ottawa Glandorf. WBL Girls, Hannah Flippo from Van Wert and Elise Jenkins from Elida. GMC has both Wayne Trace coaches, and Jim Linder on the boys and Bethany Desjardins for the girls. Shelby County the exact same way for Fort Loramie. Carlos Siegel and Mitch Westerheide. And just for good measure, Anna's Nate Barhorst. Those are the coaches that I was able to spend some time and talk to this week and the last 2 weeks. And it has been quite literally a huge undertaking, like I said before. So I really hope that you enjoy it, that you get some entertainment, you get some knowledge, you get some value out of it. I'm really excited about the basketball season starting and the crossover with the state semifinals for football this weekend. And I can't thank the coaches enough for being a part of it. And without further ado, I bring you the 23-24 Around the Hearn season basketball preview. Enjoy. Northwest Conference girls basketball, and a team that is expected to have a dent in one of the toughest leagues around for girls basketball. That's what the press release says, and I believe it from the head coach in Kyle Williams. When you look at the NWC, how do you guys fit in this year?
And like I said, and the information I sent out, it is a tough conference, top to bottom. If we compete at a high level, top 3, top 4 would be great for us. It's just, you look at Crestview and you look at Columbus Grove and you look at Jefferson, and those teams have been solid consistently year after year. So, but we're getting better each and every year. So, some of those big games we have at home. So if we can compete at a high level, I'd like to say we can fare with those top teams, but it's going to be really tough. If we're gritty and we put together some good quarters and we value the basketball, I foresee us being top 3, top 4. So yeah.
You bring back 3 starters. You lose a terrific young lady, Michaela Jackman, that just did so much for your program, kind of your Swiss Army knife. You're not going to be able to replicate that, but I mean, how do you replace different things of what she did?
Yeah, for sure. So we have Kira Brees coming off the bench. She played a lot of minutes for us last year. So she'll be the one, and she handles the ball. She's great. She values the basketball. She does a good job reading the floor, high IQ. So hopefully she can kind of step into that role and handle the basketball for us. I think in girls basketball and any basketball, valuing possessions is huge. So if we can take care of the ball, we'll do a fantastic job. So her stepping into that role is going to be big. We have some girls off the bench as freshmen, and those returning starters did a great job for us last year. And the girls are buying into what we want to do as a program. We have a new assistant coach, a new JV coach, kind of some new things we want to do. And I think they're buying in. So I think it's going to be great. We're going to continue to improve, Mike. So I'm excited.
How was that hard to kind of reconcile, though, that you have younger players, and it's always a catch-22 of, all right, they'll make freshman mistakes and all that, but as they go along, and by the time you get about halfway through the season, class really doesn't matter anymore because it's just basketball.
Right.
But that you're able to, they're going to be, by the time they're seniors, they're going to be terrific, but that they're able to come in and produce at a high level early on.
Yeah, and it's so hard. We expect a lot out of them right from the get-go, and we can't put all the pressure on them. But these last few scrimmages, I've really seen some growth in our younger girls, and they're meshing with some of our returners, and I'm already starting to see some of the development already just in our scrimmages. So if we can, hit that mark a little bit sooner, would be great. But I feel the pressure sometimes. I don't want to put the pressure on them either, but sometimes we need them to mature and develop at a quicker rate than what they're used to. But I'm seeing it already, which is a positive for us and a positive for our program.
Carson Lozier leads the team in rebounding last year. With Ashlyn Price, is that where those extra caroms come from this year?
Yeah, for sure. And she is a true, I don't know if this is the correct term, like garbage player. Some nights she might have 15 points. Sometimes she might have 0. Some nights she'll have 0 points and hopefully 10 so she's that type of player that could do that for us. Whatever she needs, she will do. She's just a great role player for us. So yes, definitely. But this year we have some guards that can rebound, some athletic guards coming in. So hopefully, night in and night out, we don't know who it's going to come from. We just rebound at a consistent rate. But yes, losing Carson Lozier around the rim was huge, defensive wise, and offensive and defensive rebounding wise. But hopefully we can replace that with some of our guards that are athletic too, crashing the boards. And I think we'll figure it out.
How important was it for you to come back home to Lincolnview and be able to build up this program? I mean, they've had good years, but it wasn't kind of a consistent overall thing. To build it into, I don't want to use this word to you, but a Crestview type program.
Yeah. And we talked about this yesterday. I was sitting down with some coaches, and I actually sat down with Middle Point Lions Club, and we were talking basketball yesterday. They always do a dinner for us over Thanksgiving. So we were just talking basketball, and when I first got the job, I think, I want to flip this program as quick as possible. Well, it doesn't work like that. It takes time, and it takes consistency, and it takes a good staff, and it takes, a good school system and a district. And I think we're getting there. First year we won 5 games. Second year we won 10. The next year we won 11, and we went to the district finals. Next year after that, my 4th year, we won 11 again. So we're continuing to improve each and every year. And I see the girls buying into what we want to do. We have a good system put in, and even then we might have some struggles this year, but I foresee us continuing to improve until we get to that high level, programs that you're seeing, like the Crestview program you talk about, that consistently be
don't
good.
Don't let people hear you say that word out loud.
Yeah, don't put this in don't put that. I mean,
we'll edit that out.
It's so easy to talk about because they've been so good. You can't downplay how good Crestview and the teams like Jefferson have been year after year. Grove, same way. Look at their tournament run. So those programs that year in and year out have been good. I want to be like those programs. I don't want to be Crestview. I want to be like Crestview. So
I want to be on their level to beat them consistently. Is how that goes.
Exactly. Yes. And and they've had, good players make good programs too. And they've had phenomenal players come through. You talk about Callie this year, who's going to be, a collegiate athlete in D1, D2. So they've had, great players come in. Same way with Jefferson, great players. And that helps tremendously too. So, same way with Grove and the players they had that played collegiately and, in all community this year is really good. And so that helps a lot too, and they have great systems, their head coaches do a great job. And so that helps a lot too. So.
Also, things that help a lot. 6 of your first 7, including your first 5, are at home.
Yes,
that's an awkward way for everybody else. No, all they do is play at home. I know it's overblown at times, but how important is that for a young team to have that kind of environment to start the season?
For sure, and it's going to be great. I always, it's like this rotation. Last year, it was awful because we had 5 away games to start the season just because of the rotation, but if we can preach to our girls this year to make it, we have to make an environment where it's tough to play here. If we set that precedence, it's hard to play at Lincolnview. We set that tone at the beginning of the year. If we can win 4 out of our 5 home games to start the season, that will definitely, spring us into our non-conference and our away games and some of our other conference games. So if we get a great start at home, the fans see it, community sees it, the players see it, it'll definitely spring us into the rest of the season.
Even better if you win all 5.
Even better. Sometimes I'm optimistic, I'm pessimistic too, but all 5, man, we'll be on a roll going into the rest of the season.
Well, I'm excited. I see you guys. I'm coming there on the 11th for New Bremen, so hopefully
awesome.
By that point, the media room is stocked, and there is a fishbowl that's kept at an arm's length from me at all times.
Heck yes. Get them away from you. So.
Thank you so much for spending some time talking about your program.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love talking Lincolnview basketball, and I appreciate you talking about the growth of the program. And that's my goal, man, is to continue to grow something and girls want to be a part of and the community's proud of. And so excited for the year. I was talking the other day, and I don't know if I don't want to say more excited. It's a weird feeling, like a tingly feeling, like I feel like something's good's gonna happen.
I think you might want to have that feeling checked out.
Yeah.
You might go look for a doctor.
Yeah, I might want to get it. Yeah, I might want to get that checked out. If that's what creates a successful season, then I'm good with that.
I'm not eligible, but that's Kyle Williams, and I would play for him if I could. And talking about Lincolnview basketball. Northwest Conference basketball, and the head coach of the Bluffton Pirates in Adam Burris. He's got Christmas in his veins, and he's ready for the season to start. You've got a couple of seniors leading your team coming back. As you get about a week from the season, how are you feeling about what your team can do?
Feeling more and more confident each scrimmage and practice we get in. We're just learning a new system, learning a new offense. A lot of the girls haven't played together, for say, because some of them were on varsity, some were on JV, some are freshmen. So just trying to get the cohesiveness with the girls. So like I said, each day we're getting better, and we just had a scrimmage last night against a good Jackson Center team and Arcadia team, and we held our own. So and things are looking promising heading into next Wednesday against Corey Rawson.
I love hearing about scrimmages because it seems like it's the one time where obviously you don't want to, scrimmage Spencerville or Jefferson or whoever's in your conference. But at this point, I don't even know who's in any conference. But that you kind of look outside the box and go, all right, what's far but not too far that maybe we're willing to go there once, but can we get them to come here?
Yeah, I was we actually got Jackson Center during the summer, and they were big, physical. And really athletic girls. So I was excited they had a scrimmage opening, and you can go outside your box on teams you hear about and you see throughout the year, but never get a shot at. So it was exciting to get some fresh blood instead of our regular schedule.
It's got to be nice, too, to be able to look at a jersey that doesn't say Bluffton or Pirates on it and say, all right, let's strap this up. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah. I think the girls, after about a week and a half, they were tired of running against the same girls. And we can tell them till we're blue in the face that I know you know what's coming, but please don't just try to cheat and try to make yourself look good. We just try to just play them straight up like a team that would never see us play. So it is new people.
With the season starting for you as we tape this just under 2 weeks at or home for Miller City, what's the feeling like with being able to start with a team that's different like that you know they've got some coming back before you sort of jaunt through the Putnam County League and the WBL and then start your own conference schedule in January?
Yeah, I mean, our schedule is not very for the faint of heart. I mean, we play some of the best teams we play Bath, we play Miller City. I mean, we have a lot of non-conference games that play Liberty Center. A lot of non-conference games to help us for another tough league race with Jefferson and Crestview and Lipsick, and Allen East is up there as well. I mean, it's going to be a tough league. So if we can just kind of prepare ourselves for a tough night in, night out, I think that helps us because, like I said, we're really young, we're really new. So I think it's a kind of a sink or swim mentality. So we can really find out a lot about ourselves early on and try to figure out what we can do to change things before conference play starts.
You go 13-9 last year, but you struggle against the NWC at 1-7 with some games that I know were winnable in a lot of ways. What do those tough losses, especially in the conference, teach you, or maybe that you can teach to the girls going forward for this year?
I think we got to just take care of a lot of things that we've seen in our scrimmages so far is just small things that kind of lead to much bigger things. I mean, a lot of just turnovers. We've been kind of hounding the girls on turnovers, and I think that's some of the stuff that sets you apart in those close games where 1 or 2 turnovers doesn't seem like a lot at that moment, but once they compound and I mean, you give up a 5-0 run, 7-0 run. I mean, in a close game, that's huge. So I think just focusing on the small fundamental things and just kind of taking care of the basketball, and I think that'll help us in the close games and hopefully, yeah, like you said, have a better record on the conference because, yeah, I mean, we had a great non-conference record, but I mean, at the end of the day, we want to try to win the NWC, and that wasn't going to get it done last year.
You lose a terrific player and a terrific leader in Sammy Scholes. You don't necessarily just straight up replace a player of that caliber, but how do you sort of put somebody else in that role and hopefully that they blossom into a leader?
Yeah, Sammy was very good for us last year, and right now it's by committee. We're trying a couple people out, but with our lone varsity returner and Ayla Grandy, she's been very patient with all the young faces, but we have some solid girls that are coming up with Macy Schott. She's a sophomore. Ashley Fleece, she's one of the returning seniors. She's been taking over the point guard duties as well. And then we have probably some fresh faces that no one's seen just because they were at the JV level. So it kind of makes it exciting, but I think I'll get my fair share of gray hairs this year, to say the least, ball handling. But we're going to make it work by committee.
Well, I wish you guys the best of luck as you start your season in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, we're excited to get going, and all the girls are excited and they're working hard, and that's all we can ask for.
That is a look at Bluffton basketball with head coach Adam Burris. We've got even more of the Northwest Conference when we come back. Continuing on in the Northwest Conference, talking Allen East basketball with the head coach Aaron Montgomery. With a lot coming back from last year, you get a couple of all-NWC players and a lot of promise for a team that averaged 50 points a game a season ago.
Yeah, we return 8 players that played significant for us and some that played in big moments. So we're kind of hoping for that success to kind of carry over to this year.
And being able to work in a lot of younger players, some that got some run a year ago with a team that likes to play fast. I've got to imagine that one of your big things with the girls is about depth and about maybe playing more kind of a hockey style more than maybe playing long shifts.
Yeah, the way we play, we're really focusing this year on pushing the pace and pushing it with purpose, and running the floor. We'll press and press and press, but I think at times last year we really had to slow down when we got a steal or caused a turnover, and we want to this year we want to capitalize. We want to push the pace with purpose off those turnovers. So we're looking at about 9, 10, or 11 deep this year, and all of those girls 1 through 11 got some experience last year. -1, we got a newcomer this year. So with 10 girls that know the expectation and know the speed of the game, we're looking at probably 10, 11 deep.
When you look at the NWC as a whole, it's a lot younger this year across the board. With the last couple of years, a lot of the older players for a lot of the good programs that have graduated. I have to think that with this kind of style, that only really helps you early on.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to simulate the way that we play and simulate the way that we press, because we do press, but we press in so many different ways. We'll zone press you, we'll man press you, we'll makeshift a zone that turns into a man. I think last year we had about 7 different press calls that we could run, and we could run really smoothly. So it's just really hard to simulate that style of play. I think that's our big advantage.
How much coaching do you have to do for something like that? Because, I mean, if other teams don't understand it, with the way that you guys play, you have to make sure that everybody on your team is on board, where when you say, a blue or whatever your code is for everything, that everybody immediately goes, okay, I know exactly what he's saying.
So every day every practice, we have a press period where 15, 20, 25 minutes of practice, we have a press period that we go over, 2, 3, or 4 different presses that we code. And going into a game, we'll have about 2 or 3 that we know, hey, we're going to run. But then we'll look through our list as a staff and say, okay, we may be able to mix this one in there too. So let's kind of focus in on that one this week during press period.
One thing that people are not going to know about this interview is I emailed about 50 coaches, boys and girls, and I asked them a handful of things, and a lot of them would send me stats, would send a roster, but you actually sent me pretty much a scouting report. So any of the other coaches that are listening, if you've got, a little bit of coin, maybe I can help you out. But the one thing that I love in yours was when you got to Bryn Richardson, you wrote, yes, another Richardson. That to me cracked me up when I read that.
Her sister Elle, she played 2 years for me. She graduated last year. She is one of the toughest kids that I've ever coached, boys or girls. The things that she did on the floor, they'll be missed tremendously this year. And for Bryn to play with her sister last year as a freshman, I think a lot of things when Bryn goes home and she says, oh, coach got on me about this, she can relate. Elle can kind of be the middle ground for it. And I think that's what's really helping Bryn, because, the Richardson name in Allen East, that's a household name.
And if you don't know, now you know. The top half, how much with a young lady like Rylan Jones, the success that she just had during the fall, can you use that to sort of carry over of, hey, guys, this is what happens when we work hard. These are the kind of things that we can accomplish, and use her as a sort of a marker of what this program can be this year?
Rylan Jones is a phenomenal basketball player. She may not get the notoriety that maybe she deserves, but she's a phenomenal basketball player. She was the soccer player of the year for the conference. And to carry over with that, Savannah Brooks was the player of the year in softball last year. And last year, Soraya Jackson was the player of the year in volleyball. So I have 3 players with player of the year honors, but none of them have player of the year honors in basketball.
Anyways.
Yes. But them carrying that over, they know the kind of hard work and dedication it takes. It's allowing the younger girls to kind of just pick their brains and be a sponge. When those 2 speak, the gym becomes quiet because everybody is listening.
When you look at the Northwest Conference this year, I feel like there's 2 obvious answers to this question, but who do you expect to kind of be that top dog with you guys and jump out to kind of, hey, everybody is paying attention to these teams?
The first team would be Jefferson. They've won 3 straight, and they return a co-player of the year and Liv Lindemann. She's a phenomenal basketball player. She's a tremendous athlete. And then you got Crestview, who's been there the past two seasons as well, and they have arguably one of the hardest matchups for us to say in Callie Gregory because she does everything so well. So I would say Crestview and Jefferson are up there, but I'd like to say that we're right there. We haven't got over that hump, but we've been there. So I'm hoping this year is the year that we kind of just get off the hump and get the monkey off our back.
Well, I kind of figured those were the two that you might say. What would it mean, end of the year, Allen East has got 1 NWC title all time, to be able to put that trophy in the trophy case at Allen East?
We talk about it all the time. I met with the seniors, and I do this every year since I've been here, give me 3 goals. And unlike years past, this year the seniors, before I could finish, they said, we want the NWC. So that kind of set the bar for that meeting right there. To them, those seniors, they've been through a lot. They've had 2 coaches. They've had some tough times, and we've had some tough times together. But I think for them seniors, it would just mean the world for them. And, I think for this team, as much work as they put in and dedication and blood, sweat, and tears that they put in, I think that would be, the greatest reward.
You guys kick off the season on November the 30th, a little bit later than I think most teams with that Thursday, Friday, Saturday sort of weird holiday thing. You get in gear. You have to go on the road for 4 or 5 straight games in the end of December, in the middle of January. How is that schedule for you that you maybe are more broken up and you're more back heavy than a lot of schools where they play 10 or 12 games before Christmas and you have maybe 6 or 7?
We actually we open up the day before Thanksgiving at the Bluffton Holiday Tournament. So we're actually in that Bluffton Holiday Tournament with Bluffton, Arlington, and Corey Rawson. So we'll play Wednesday, Friday, but then we go back to 30th, and then we'll play that Monday. But the back part of our season, it's tough. I think there's a stretch where you go conference-wise, you got Jefferson, and then I think Ada, then Crestview and Lipsick, and then Spencerville and Bluffton to follow. So that's just a tough conference stretch because in the NWC there is no easy games.
That'll teach me to trust the internet. Well, thank you so much for coming on and telling me all about the Mustangs.
Hey, no problem. Anytime.
That's Aaron Montgomery. We've got more of the Northwest Conference when we come back in just a minute. Stay tuned. Talking 10 years of Ekis. Now with the head coach of the Spencerville girls program and Greg Ekis. When you hear that out loud, does it make you go, oh, I actually have been here a decade now as the head coach?
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been fun. It's been good. Lots of ups and downs, but more ups I think than downs. So, but yeah, 10 years. It's a long time.
I know that maybe last season at 12-12 didn't go exactly the way you would have liked, but I can tell you that early on in the season, I was very happy for you. For people who don't know, you got your 100th career win at Spencerville, and I feel like it doesn't necessarily tell just how good or how big of an impact that you've had on the girls program, but I wanted to say congratulations to you anyways.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I've been fortunate. I've had great assistant coaches, great players that have allowed me to, win quite a few games as the head coach. So, I can't go out and play. So the players have done a great job in winning all of those games, and it's been a fun ride there.
Yeah, one of those things would maybe be illegal. You got to get a wig, and then it becomes a whole thing. But one of those players that you're talking about, we actually kind of gone back and forth a couple of days ago. And Gabby Croft, she got to play in her first collegiate game, got a couple of minutes a couple of nights ago against a very good Anderson team in a 20-point win for the Polar Bears. How cool is that for you? And I know you've had a couple of young ladies who have gone on to play major college athletics. To be able to see someone who came into your program young and, was kind of maybe unsure about themselves early, continue to grow, and then see them succeed at the next level.
Oh, absolutely. We're extremely happy for Gabby and extremely happy that Mark over at ONU thought that she was good enough to play at their program. They've got a great program there, and he's doing an awesome job. So we're excited for Gabby. We're excited that she has the opportunity to play collegiately, and that she's kind of close to home. That hopefully at some point maybe we can get over and watch her play. So we're excited. It's always nice, especially for our younger players too, to be able to see that hard work. And Gabby was an extremely hard worker. That hard work does pay off.
Well, it's neat too because to be able to you've got a younger group this year with a lot of freshmen and sophomores on your varsity roster to potentially go over there and see her and go, this was you a year, 2, 3, whatever years ago. If you work like she did, if you maybe kind of listen to the smart things that come out of my mouth, that you can do this too.
Oh, absolutely. We are young this year, and we need, the leadership that we can find from our two seniors. Will be great. But to be able to say, somebody that came through the program for 4 years. And kind of look what you've been able to do now, and what she's been able to do now is something that I think can really help us this year too.
And you lose 3 terrific leaders in Gabby and Sid Lamar and Kirsten Wurst, but to be able to replace that with especially a young lady like Heidi Keller, 11 points, 5 rebounds a game last year, who has been that 4-year player. I remember as a freshman, she comes out and hits 5 threes against Ottawa Glandorf in her first game. And the thing that jumped out to me was she's not gun shy. This is her first game against a team that, has been to the state and a lot of people believe is one of the top teams in the state that year. And she does not care. She's got trigger for days, and thankfully she makes a lot more than she misses.
Oh, absolutely. Heidi is, she broke our school record last year for threes in a game and made 7 against LCC. She tied our season record at 53 last year also. So, she's a great shooter. She's been asked to do a lot more this year, other than just shoot. So, and she did last year too. She's got great body control, and she posts up really, really well also. So, she's kind of a matchup problem that we're going to try to look at this year. And, do you guard her with a bigger player to take away some of her post moves, and then hopefully she can step out inside and shoot. And if you guard her with a post player, then she can definitely step out, and look to score that way also. So, for Heidi, she's overcome quite a bit of adversity and throughout her middle school and high school career. And, we're really, really happy for Heidi, and, and looking forward to seeing what kind of season that she may have this year.
It's not an easy top 7 because you go to 2 of the hardest places on earth to win in girls basketball in St. John's and Bath in a 3-day span to kick off the season. And then those matchup nightmares that you were talking about. You've got St. John's, obviously, in what they can do, but Jefferson from across town, and that's obviously an early game. And then Crestview, they're expected to all be pretty good, I'm told.
Yeah, they are. Our beginning of our schedule is really, really difficult. And it is every year. And we know that going in. So we look forward to the challenge, and it's going to be quite the challenge, I feel like, especially with a younger team. But we just need to get better every day. And as long as we're getting better every day, good things are going to happen for us. So, we're looking forward to getting started. It's kind of seeing what our team can do. And like you said, going to St. John's, going to Bath are both two difficult places to play. But we're looking forward to doing that.
I'm pretty sure you guys are just trying to hit every Saint school in the area and play at their place, by the way, at St. John's, at St. Henry, at St. Mary's.
That's correct. We go to all three of those this year. And as we look at both St. Henry and St. Mary's, both are very good programs, very well coached. So those will be tough ones too.
You've got, of course, I call it the rodeo nightmare. San Antonio Spurs generally play on the road for 2 weeks. You, after playing St. Henry, don't play for 2 weeks before you get your last go around in conference play with Leipzig. That, again, we talk about this every year, but it just fascinates me the way that is almost 2 exact weeks and how annoyed the girls have to be with just seeing each other during that time.
It is hard. The good thing though for us right now is with St. Henry on the 21st, where we will practice on the 22nd, and then we'll take I think it's 4 days off that at that point over Christmas, and that gives a nice break. It's a nice chance to kind of regroup a little bit. And it's good for them that they get away from each other, away from the coaches.
Probably especially the coaches.
But yeah, probably. And the time to be able to enjoy family and enjoy the holiday there.
And then the good news is they get away from their family when they go back to basketball.
Yeah, they are working real hard right now. They're working, quite a few hours a day here with us, whether it's, on the basketball floor, in the weight room, watching film. They're doing a really, really nice job practice wise right now too.
Plus you get that new beautifully repainted floor to see every day.
We do. We actually just got it resealed over the weekend, and it is it's beautiful and shiny right now. So it's looking pretty nice.
I'm just glad that they kept the parquet part of it, because I always felt like that was what made it stand out.
It is, and the Bearcats now within the 3-point line, and it's a high gloss finish that they just put on this weekend. So it's really, really pretty shiny.
It just sounds fancy. When you look at the Northwest Conference, I talked about your first 7 games where you face a lot of the prognosticators' teams that they expect to be maybe the top 2 in Jefferson and Crestview. Where do you guys fit into the conference this year?
Well, I think if we're able to stay injury free, I think that we can compete in games. Obviously right now the conference goes through Jefferson. They've won the last few. Crestview is going to be I think really good, but I think top to bottom, everybody in the conference is going to be good, and anybody I think really can beat anybody on any given night. And I know that's a lot of coaches will say that, but I think within the NWC, we've got a lot of really good teams. We've got a lot of really good coaches that have their teams prepared all the time for especially for NWC games. So I think the first 2, Jefferson and Crestview are both really pretty good. And if you were a betting person, you probably would bet on either one of those. But I really think that all teams in there, that are going to be able to compete night in and night out. Grove is really good. Allen East returns most of their players from last year. So you look at those 2. I think those 2 can are also really good teams too.
What are you most looking forward to as you start the second decade of Ekis?
Well, we're looking forward to games. It's practicing. You look forward to starting to play. I really look forward to watching this young group, get better. I think get better each day because I just really think that right now that they're working hard. They're extremely coachable, and there's so much there's so much that we're kind of throwing at them right now. Once it starts to click, to watch the improvement, and I think it's going to be a pretty dramatic improvement, and pretty quick improvement for us. So just looking forward to watching them get better. And sometimes you kind of have that almost light bulb moment where it kind of clicks, and all of a sudden things start to work a little bit. So we're looking forward to seeing that, and getting out and competing against other people. So we're competing in games. It's getting closer, and we can start to tell, like, all right, we're ready to go play something that's meaningful right now. Not against our own practice people, not against the scrimmage, one that will actually stay on your record.
Well, good luck this season.
Thank you, Michael.
That's Greg Ekis. Ekis Appreciation Night is sometime during the course of the season. I have it nearly every day. You can hear all of the Bearcats games on Z Sports 3, by the way. Nate said we'll take care of you. We've got more when we come back. Thank you so much for listening and staying tuned. I realize that it is a lot of information, but I hope you had at least 1 or maybe 10 interviews that you really enjoyed in this segment and in overall. If you've made it the entire way, can't say enough. Please, again, hit me up on Twitter, @MichaelHearnPBP. Tell me who it was that you enjoyed, or maybe who you didn't. It doesn't matter either way. But I appreciate it, and I can't say thank you enough to the 45 coaches who were a part of it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you get out to some games. Big ones coming up this weekend and all season long. Happy to be out there. If you see me, say hi. And you can always find me behind the mic. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow. And happy Thanksgiving.
We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Around the Hearn. Come back next week for more local stories from the NWO. But until then, be sure to follow us on Twitter @MichaelHearnPBP for more great area content.